Let's get to Arsenal. Their semi-final with Paris Saint-Germain. I mean, what did you make of the defeat? It was at home, which was disappointing, but what went wrong?
I just think the players were nervous. It was a big football match. You know, it's a semi-final of the Champions League. These players haven't been in a semi-final before. They're not seasoned pros in it. You know, it doesn't matter how much money you earn, you're going to get nervous. You know, people get nervous, and I just thought they were nervous, and I thought PSG come out, got that early goal, and they had them on the rack, and I just thought it was like Arsenal was sort of scared. Like, I just thought they thought, if we let in another goal here, we're out the cup tie already. We're literally out the cup tie. And I know that didn't happen with Inter Milan. They went 2-0 up against Barcelona. Barcelona play a different way to Arsenal. They got back into the game steadily, but they'll be disappointed. You know, certain games you get in your life and you think, God, I could have probably done more in that game. And I think there's a lot of players that would have sat in the dressing room after that game or gone home and gone to bed and laid in bed and thought, didn't really turn up. Didn't turn up. And that happens. It happens. You just hope it doesn't happen on the big stage in the big games. And it did. It did on Tuesday night.
How much do you think they missed Thomas Partey?
Oh, amazingly. Yeah, unbelievably. Yeah. You know, it stopped Declan Rice bombing forward. You know, Declan's playing as well as anybody at the moment. He's bombing forward. He's making runs, getting into the box. You know, one of their only chances they did have, the Trossard chance, that was from Declan Rice making a bursting run. You know, and we didn't get as many of them because of the position he had to play. But, yeah, Partey, when he comes back, I mean, Odegaard will have to turn up. You know, I'm a big fan of Odegaard, but he didn't perform the other night. But they've got another chance. They should have been completely blown out of this competition the other night. They had chances, PSG. I think it's down to the first goal. I think if Arsenal score first goal, that wipes out Tuesday's performance and it's game on. I think it's Paris Saint-Germain score first. I can't see any way back. And I know people will say, well, Villa went 4-1 down, but Villa are at home. They had nothing to lose. They had a right go, scored 2 goals in 3 minutes, and they got back in the game. You know, and people will say, oh, Arsenal won at the Bernabeu. You know, Arsenal won on the last kick of the game. Martinelli's running away from the defender with a minute to go. If it's 1-1 in the Parc des Princes, they're not going to be playing gung-ho football, PSG. So, you know, there's a lot of things to look at. I think Arsenal are right up against it, but with Partey back, you never know.
Let's talk about the atmosphere, because all week we've been building up to the game. We were hearing from Mikel Arteta, you know, calling for this special atmosphere. So, you know, bring your boots, bring your full kits, everyone. Wayne Rooney described it as an anti-climax. What did you make of it?
Yeah, I mean, the first goal, it was the first goal after 4 minutes. You know, you get there and there's signal for London forever, the atmosphere is great, and then all of a sudden Paris Saint-Germain scoring it. And of course it deflates you. It deflated the players. You know, and it did the fans. You know, the fans would have been nervous. You know, they're turning up. It's a semi-final. You've got an unbelievable opportunity of winning the Champions League. They've never done. And I just think it caught up with everybody. And I think that goal in the first 4 minutes was critical. And I think the fans got as nervous as what the players did. And I think it was as simple as that. I mean, it was just one of them situations where that goal literally killed the game for me for the first 20 minutes. And Arsenal got nervous. They started playing around. They looked like the Harlem Globetrotters, PSG. And that was the way it was. And that's the way it sort of panned out. Arsenal had a couple of chances. I thought they'd done well to get back in the game. Didn't need half time. But they lose 1-0, and it could have probably been 3. And they're back in it again now. They've got a chance. But, yeah, I don't give them too much of a chance, if I'm being honest.
I mean, Arteta said himself that they're going to need something pretty special in Paris next week. What do they need? How do they try and hurt this team and turn it around? What chance do you give them? You said they're not much, but got to give them some hope.
Oh, of course, they've got a chance. They're a good team, Arsenal. They don't become a bad team overnight. You know, I see PSG destroy Liverpool, but still lost the game. Still lost that game. People forget that, you know, for how well they played, Liverpool won that football match. They don't have to, because they've only lost 1-0, they don't have to go and score that goal in the first 10 minutes. I think as long as they can get through the first 20 minutes and keep it quiet in the Parc des Princes, because it will be an unbelievable atmosphere. And insteadly, they don't have to score straight away. And I think that's what they've got to do. They've got to be patient. play themselves in the game, make sure they stay in this game as long as they can. And then the last 25 minutes, have a right go and have a gung-ho go at them, open the game up and see what happens. Because don't worry, PSG, the longer this game goes on at 1-0, will get very nervous. You know, they got an unbelievable opportunity of winning the Champions League where, with the players they used to have and the talent, we never really thought they could win it. And now they will get nervous. So I think Arsenal have to stay in the game. I think the first 20 minutes again is very, very important. I think if Arsenal can get in at 0-0 first half.
Today, of course, PSG with that victory against Arsenal. I have no idea what any of these says. Let's get some reaction, shall we, from Arteta and Luis Enrique.
Before the match, Declan Rice has picked up saying, if we don't have the ball, we die. Was the message from you to your players about having control about every single minute against this PSG side?
You cannot. Again, this is one of the best. It's beating all the English teams, the best teams in this country. So you cannot dominate this team 95 minutes. Impossible. Forget about it. And you have to understand what means dominating them and in which area of the pitch. And we have to be very clear. Again, what we have to do, where, and when we cannot win it, okay, make sure that we take the game where we want.
Creo que hoy se ha podido ver a muchos jugadores rendir a un alto nivel. Gran trabajo defensivo de los puntas. Gran trabajo defensivo y ofensivo de los mediocampistas, gran trabajo defensivo general de todos. No puedes venir a jugar a casa del Arsenal, un rival de este nivel, y no empezar a cuestionar o empezar a valorar cuántos esfuerzos haces. No, esfuerzos máximos, con y sin balón. Creo que hemos mostrado una versión muy buena con balón, con mucha personalidad, y una versión todavía incluso mejor sin balón.
We are half-time, and my message has been exactly the same. Post Real Madrid at home, 3-0. Is we have to go to Paris and win the game, and we are more than capable of doing it because I saw two very good teams where the margins are so small, and they had efficiency in front of the goal, and their keeper as well made a difference to see the result that we've seen tonight.
PSG, no surprise, big favourites for that 1-0 lead going into the second leg next Wednesday in Paris. Gab Marcotti still with us. Gab, what's the reaction from the English media been like to this?
I haven't really read the English media, so I wouldn't know, Dan.
That's fair enough, Gab.
Really
this is like me in Spain. You're in London. Who cares what they think?
But I think, I would imagine they were completely impressed. It's nothing new because they saw Paris Saint-Germain turn it on like this against Liverpool as well over the two legs. Obviously, apparently under strength Arsenal like this, there's only so much they could do. But I think Arsenal's still very much in it. And then I think if you're Paris Saint-Germain, you look at those two late chances with Bradley Barcola and Gonzalo Ramos, and you'll think, man, we could have been in such a better position for the Parc des Princes. One goal for these two teams is nothing. You can say, oh, Arsenal have to go abroad. Guys, 2 hours and 5 minutes on the Eurostar. It's almost a derby. It's further for Arsenal to travel up north to face United or whatever. So I think